Hey, so if you are transitioning into a corporate career, there are just some things that you need to know about interviewing successfully. Hi, my name is Lisa Carter. I'm a career transition coach. I work primarily with K through 12 teachers transitioning into corporate careers. And in this video, I want to share with you like 3 specific things that you can do to interview more competitively. Before we get into those 3 things, though, I'd like to go ahead and share my bonus tip at the beginning of the video instead of the end. So my bonus tip for, acing the interview is as you are preparing to interview for whatever position you're applying for, I want you to put yourself in the position of that hiring manager, and I want you to start brainstorming about what you can do to make the interview more pleasant and easier for that hiring manager. So let me just give you a taste of some of the things that hiring managers are struggling with. So the first thing that they're probably struggling with is the fact that they are down, a person or two on their team, which means that their production is being slowed down and they're not reaching the goals that they need to reach. So that in itself is a lot of stress and pressure. So I want you to think about ways during that interview that you can make it easy for them to see how you're going to relieve some of that stress and pressure. The other thing is that, interviewing is typically, for most hiring managers, something extra that they have to add into their day, not something that's typically like scheduled, right? So they are having to put aside what they need to be doing to be interviewing you. So again, what can you do to make it easier, make it more interesting for somebody who is sitting in a room or sitting in a Zoom meeting, for hours out of their day, interviewing person after person after person? Like, what can you do to be that standout, candidate? So those are just a couple of things that I want you to think about when you are preparing for your interview. And you don't have to have like the perfect answer or know exactly what each hiring manager is going through. That's not the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is to begin to get you to start thinking and putting yourself in the position of the hiring manager, which is the person who's going to say, yay or nay to offering you a position. All right, so let's get right into those 3 steps that I promised you. So the first step that I want you to do to prepare to ace your interview is I want you to identify and record, meaning write down or put in on a Word file, the top skills and qualifications for the specific job title that you're applying for. Let me say that again. I want you to identify and record the top qualifications and skills for the job that you're applying for. The reason that I want you to do this is because I want you to be the candidate who is totally dialed in, understands the needs of that hiring manager, and I want you to begin to tailor your interview answers to what you know that they need. Got it? All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, I want you to practice your interview answers 20 to 30 minutes every day or every other day. Now, I know you're saying like, Lisa, really everybody says that. Yes, we do say that. The reason we say that is because it is so important and most people just never do it. Let me tell you just a quick story. So imagine that you find what you think is going to be like your dream job. You make it through that first screening interview. They really like you. You're about to meet with the hiring manager, maybe the hiring manager and your potential new team. You are so excited and you get in the interview and one of the team members ask you a question that you're not prepared to answer and you don't know what to say and you start stuttering, right? So if you spend that 10 or 20 minutes preparing your interview answers, preparing your stories, if you know as much as you can know the things that they are most needing in terms of skills and qualifications on their team, I guarantee you, because you've practiced, I'm going to call it muscle memory. It's not obviously muscle memory, but all of that information and that practice will kick in. And because you are teachers and you're already awesome communicators, all the information that you need is going to be right there for you, and it's just going to bubble up and come out of your mouth, and you're going to just give them the best answer ever. So that's why I want you to, at the end of this video, I want you to literally, take time to schedule 20 to 30 minutes a day, like I said, or every other day to practice your interview answers. The last thing that you can do to, or the last thing that I'm going to share with you today about acing the interview is this. Create answers for the skills and qualification gaps that you have. Let me say that one more time. Create answers for the skills and qualification gaps that you have. So let's say you want to be an instructional designer and they want their instructional designer to have 3 years of Storyline 360 experience, and you don't have that. That doesn't mean that requirement goes away. That just means you don't have it. So best case scenario is if you don't have it, then your answer needs to be about everything that you're doing currently to get up to speed with that missing skill or qualification, and a short little example or story about what you do or what you've done in the past to get yourself up to speed with something quickly. And then the last thing that you want to do is just circle back with that hiring manager and ask them, what they think about that, right? Because you want to give them the opportunity to stop and think about how important is this really? Like, I really like you, or I really like, the hiring manager's thinking, I really like this person that I'm interviewing. Could we potentially partner them with somebody to get them up to speed quickly? So you want to put them in a position where they have to have those thoughts, right? The 3B, I guess, in terms of my comments about creating an answer for your skills and qualifications gap is sometimes an employer won't even mention the gap. If you know that the skill or qualification is like one of the top ones that you need and they don't bring it up, don't run from it. They haven't forgotten it. They're just not bringing it up. Like, they might be wanting to just get out of that interview and, get some water and run to the ladies' room, right? So your job is to, when you get to the point in the interview where they say, hey, do you have any questions for me? One of your questions definitely needs to be, about that skills or qualification gap. So you might say something like, one of the things that I noticed was a qualification for the job was, XYZ qualification. I'm currently, and then go back to the strategy I told you about. This is what I'm currently doing. This is what I typically do to get up to speed. I'm just wondering if you feel like, that would be enough to make me a valuable addition to your team or something like that, and give them an opportunity to think about that. All right. So those are the 3 things. So let me just go over them one more time. And I'm even looking at my notes, folks, because I'm getting older. So I gotta have notes. All right. So number 1 is identify and record the top hard skills. Number 2 is practice your interview answers 20 to 30 minutes every day or every other day. And then number 3 is to create answers for the skills and qualifications gap. I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I will see you in my video next week. Thank you. Bye.